everybody. I'm back again. I've had some women ask me about things to do concerning a divorce. So I've been there, I've done that, so I think I can give you a few hints. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. It's May 21st, and hey, we're all still alive. There was no great rapture. Yay! Anyway, that was funny. That whole thing was funny. But anyway, um, the advice I have to give you concerning going through a divorce, okay, once you've made the decision to get that divorce, and you've gone through that divorce, and you're trying to, I guess, recuperate after that divorce, I gotta tell you, one of the best things you can do is start making your life your life. And by that I mean, of course, it depends on your financial situation, but if you're able to move out of the place you shared with that man that you were married to, I tell you that's one of the best things you can do right off the bat is get out of that place, because if you don't, it's a haunting of every corner, every room, every place that you shared with this man. If you're able to move out, great. If not, then you need to, even if you do move out, you need to start getting rid. I know it sounds like maybe you won't do that or you can't do that because it hurts so much, but you'll get to a point if you get your, you got to get your strength to get there too. It's not just going to happen one day. You got to start telling yourself you need to make your own life, make your own world. And one of the ways you do that is by you start replacing everything, okay? Right now, okay, I was married 22 years, so you can imagine how much stuff I had. Uh, right now, at this time, I have three things left from that marriage that I personally had picked out and bought. They're little antique things that you can't replace, so I kept those because they meant a lot to me. Everything else, though, jewelry, clothes, shoes, down to the spoon and fork and cups, there's not one other thing here that is related to that marriage. Not one. I realized after the divorce, something as simple as picking up a mug that I used to have my coffee with when he was there. Something as simple as a certain knife. I mean, every little thing would bring up a memory. And that's when I realized I can never move forward until, unless I get rid of all these constant hauntings of that past life. And I know it seems hard, I know it seems impossible, but you can do it. I certainly did it after 22 years of marriage and accumulating an awful lot of things. Literally had a huge garage sale, got rid of tons of stuff. Um, if you can't financially like replace, say, your furniture, you can do things though to make it different. Buy new throw pillows or paint it. If there's wood or whatever, your table, something, whatever you've got, if you can, refurbish it by painting it or maybe reupholstering the chairs, anything you can do to start making your place your own. I'm telling you, it changed my entire life once I got rid of everything that was associated with that marriage. Now, when I look at anything I have in my kitchen, my living room, my bedroom, whatever it is I have, I know it's mine. It's associated with my life now, not the past life. Now, if you have kids, of course, you keep the things. I have some boxes in the garage of things from my children as they grew up. Those I will always keep, because those you can't pretend that the guy you had those kids with, wasn't the guy. You know what I'm saying? But you can, you know, um, everything else. And if you have younger kids, yeah, let them have, whatever memories they want in their room to remember, to their father or whoever is gone out of the household, whether you're the guy or the girl keeping the children. Yeah, let them have what they need to in their room, their pictures, what have you. But you, as an adult, you need to start making your home and your surroundings the new life, because if you don't, I am telling you, the past will haunt the present, and that'll mess up your future. I actually dated, I'll tell you a quick example. There were three men that I dated, and each one of them still lived in the house that they shared with the wife that they were married to. And they still had pictures of the ex-wife all over. They had pictures of family gatherings all over. They had the furniture, the table, the bedroom set, everything. And it was just like, I remember being in those houses thinking, I'm in her home. I'm in her stuff. I'm in her aura, her being. And it was the most awful, uncomfortable feeling to be in that home. So same goes to guys. If you're in a home and you got divorced, apartment, whatever, if you can manage it, move out. Start, get into your own place. There's nothing worse than as a woman to walk into someone's home knowing that it was run by a woman, another woman, that it has traces of the other woman, whether it be the curtains she picked out or the this. Or, oh, it's just not a good, healthy thing. I don't go for that. Um, but if you're the woman, I'm telling you, every single thing that you can replace, even if you can afford to just do one thing, a couple things every payday or something, if you're in that situation, maybe the most you can afford to replace one payday is your glasses that you drink out of. You think that's all kind of silly, and you go, oh, but you know what? Every little thing brings back a memory. You don't realize it till you get rid of all the stuff, and then you're looking around and you're thinking, this is my life, this is my world, this is my stuff. And I'm telling you, it completely changes your whole the recuperation after a divorce. It changes it completely. I know there are some people who say, oh, well, that's silly, they're just things. Well, let's face it, things are what remind us of our life, okay? You look at something that you drew in childhood, it takes you back. It's the same thing, it's no different. Um, and it makes it less painful once you get rid of all that stuff and you start seeing everything in your household that is yours, that you made or you bought, or like I say, if you can only refurbish furniture, you put the new pillows there. They're not the pillows that he used to lay down on the couch. Uh, you replace throw rugs, just every little thing you can possibly do over time. Get rid of it all, because if you keep it, I am telling you, you keep yourself in the past. You keep yourself in the past. I got rid of all my jewelry, everything that I had. I mean, we are talking everything. There's not a piece of jewelry I own right now that had anything to do with when I was married. Whether I bought it or he bought it, it didn't matter. It was still from that marriage. And I didn't want that. I wanted everything surrounding me to be my life. I didn't want the constant presence of him, because you can't move forward. I found that you can't move forward. Something as simple as I would get up in the morning when I still had everything from the marriage. Something as simple as getting up and pouring a cup of coffee. I would look at that cup and think, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Or I'd look at the table and think, gosh, I remember when all the kids and, my husband, their dad, we were all having dinner. All of these little memories just kept haunting me to the point that it was affecting my life. And it wasn't until, I guess it was a situation that occurred, I won't go into it, it's a long story, but I ended up just having to leave all the stuff in my apartment. We had to just get up and leave because of a situation that arose with some weird people where we lived. And also because I had moved in to take care of my mother before she died. Me and my son had moved in. Well, we left everything. Literally, if somebody had walked into that apartment, they would have thought we were still living there. The only thing we took were, the personal memories that meant something to me from my children or family. My family, not his family. And the things that mattered to me that that I was going to really need, clothes, shoes, that whole bit when I went to my mother's. Then when I finally, when my mother died and then I had to move out of her home, I got everything new. Uh, um, that was mine. There was nothing, from the past. I got rid of it over time. Over the next several months after I got my own place, after leaving my mother's, I got rid of everything. I mean, down to the robe I wore, down to the slippers I wore, you name it. I got rid of it all. And I didn't have a whole lot of money, so there were a lot of times I would go to a secondhand store, refurbished clothes, I don't care. I'm not one of those people who gives a damn about, oh gosh, I spent $500 on this. Who cares about that crap? That's as shallow and stupid as can be. So I replaced a million things. I mean, you name it, down to the spoon, the knife, everything. There is nothing that I have from my marriage. And I got to tell you, you get a good feeling when you wake up and you walk out and you look at the stuff that is no longer associated with that life. Because even if you had an amicable divorce where both decided you needed to go on, whatever, I'm telling you, you cannot really move forward as long as you are surrounded by your past with that stuff, okay? You can't do it. Um, it keeps you in this sort of frame of mind where you see something and oh my gosh, I remember when, yeah, and there you go. You kind of go into that spin. By getting rid of everything, that is eliminated. I'm telling you. I mean, of course I have my thoughts now and then because I had 5 children. But of course I have thoughts of things that occurred with my kids and when we were married. That's only natural. But I don't, any longer sit down and look at 10 million things around me going, oh yeah, I remember, which is what happens. So I'm telling you, that's one of the best things you could do. And also, you have to start just associating or making your life yours in the way that, let's say you guys went somewhere together. Say you both went to Paris together. And you talk to somebody, you meet somebody new, and they're saying, "Oh, I went to Paris, whatever." You have to start changing to. You don't say we. I remember when we went to Paris. You start changing it to you. You start saying, "Yeah, I went to Paris," or "I did." I. You stop the we association, which was associated with him. And I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference when you start associating life. Because I used to do that in the beginning too. I was like, "Oh, I remember when we," and then it hit me. It was like, "No, I can't keep doing that." So now if somebody mentions something that I know I shared with him, I'll say, yeah, I remember trying that out, or I remember, and I found that by doing that, I started moving forward. I started moving out of that phase of life into what is my life now, not our life that we had together, but my life. So you start associating things in life with you. Okay, I remember this, I remember that, or yeah, I went there, or oh yeah, I ate at that restaurant. Not we, because as long as you do that, you're not separating yourself from that life, and you do have to if you want to move on emotionally and eventually have another life. Nothing is worse than being with somebody who's still talking about the ex-husband, the ex-wife. I've been there. I've been with guys who, oh yeah, I remember my ex-wife, and it's just, or she's constantly in the picture in some way or another. Well, of course, those relationships didn't work out because you can't. You can't live in the shadow of another person. So you be the one to make sure you're not the one creating that shadow by leaving that behind. If a guy talks to you and he says, yeah, hey, I tried this restaurant out, and you tried it with your husband, you just say, hey, I've tried it too. I like the food. It was good. You have to start building your whole separate life, or your whole life separate from what you had with this man. And I'm telling you, the more you do it, get rid of everything. I even changed the perfume I use that I used to use with him, because everything, you just don't realize how much is associated with the life that you had before, down to something as simple as my perfume. I thought, wait, I always used this when I was with him. I don't want that scent around anymore. I started a new perfume, like lotions, everything. Just when you want to use a scented lotion once in a blue moon, which is what I do occasionally. I never use the ones I used to. All these little things matter. Just start changing everything in your life to your life, to what you create, to what you buy, to what you own, and you are going to see that your whole world will start to turn around, and you'll start seeing the separation where you can now move forward and have a good, happy life with your life. And I'm telling you, start changing everything, start replacing everything, down to the very spoons, the silverware you use. I don't care, just everything. Start changing it, and you're going to see you have a much better life, you have a much better outlook, and you'll feel better every day that you get up and see your life instead of the life you shared with him. And it works. Let me tell you, I know. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.